This is my 6th year in the United States, and I must say, I have accomplished a lot. Where I come from is full of hardship, and opportunities are scarce.
Nigerians are massively suffering because of the policies of government.
2 out of every 3 Nigerians are poor. More than 133 million Nigerians is currently living in multi-dimensional poverty.
And that makes me think about the luxury that we have here in America, where opportunities pass you by every blessed day, and the possibility to earn far more than you need are endless.
Today, there are more people working in America than before the pandemic began. In fact, there are more people working in America than any point in American history.
Month, we're celebrating Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. For some Indian Americans, the hospitality industry has served as a gateway toward their version of the American dream.
When I think about my roots, a country where a lot of people are struggling to live comfortably, I am humbled. And when I think about where I currently am, the land of the free and brave, I am driven. Driven to utilize every resource that can get me to the next level in order for me to be the best version of myself. So the question is this the American dream? Am I living the American dream? What is the American dream? Is it the opportunities that I get? Is it the liberty? Or is it just in my head, perhaps an illusion? Who knows the American dream? Well, there's only one way to find out.
I'm from Johannesburg in South Africa, and I'm in the US as a student. I'm studying here to get my master's degree.
I'm from Uganda. I do technology sales for a leading IT company in Austin. In a few days, it'll actually be 7 years.
Hello, my name is Andrew Echeverria. I am from Mexico City. What I do in the U.S. is I live and study here. I attend the University of Texas satellite campus in Los Angeles. I'm taking a few classes here, and I'm doing a couple internships as well, one in script development, the other in production. And I have been here as a resident and then a citizen total non-consecutively for around 20 years.
My name is Sochi, and I'm originally from Nigeria. I work as a nurse aide, and I've been in the United States for about 7 years.
What does the American dream mean to me? It doesn't mean anything to me, but I know what it is. As a concept or idea that aroused after many people who settled in this country since it was colonized, because of its capitalist democratic framework, they had opportunities, or the idea of opportunities that perhaps they didn't have in their old countries, mostly in Europe, where there were probably repressive regimes and governments.
The American dream for me means an opportunity to come here, work hard regardless of your background, your race, or religion to achieve the American dream. I am living the American dream because I'm pursuing my highest aspirations. It's about the journey, not the destination.
I would say in that most basic sense of leaving one's home country in order to make a better life for oneself and one's family, yes. However, mine is kind of not your typical immigrant story. It's certainly not your typical Mexican immigrant story. There's a connotation of struggle, right? And sacrifice that comes with being an immigrant, and that hasn't been my experience. It's all roses. It's been a very privileged upbringing. So I'd say, yeah, the American dream, I'm living it, but without the the stuff that makes it inspiring. So yes and no.
I actually believe that right now I wouldn't say that I'm leaving my American dream, but I'm actually getting to where I want to be.
Am I living the American dream right now? I don't think so. I think from what I've personally experienced, the standard of living here, it's not the same as back home. There is a cost of living crisis in the West. I know that's all recession related, but it's very difficult and hard here.
If I was back home, I would never accomplish what I have so far, especially with our corrupt government system who wants everything for themselves.
I think I would have, but it would have been different. It may not have been the same. Certainly one thing that I value and have benefited from this country is the institutional access. Things like museums, for example, and galleries and art spaces.
In all likelihood, no. I may have done something similar, but by definition too, like part of my goal was to, establish myself somewhat in these kind of big industry cities, which, surprise, surprise, are in the United States. It's New York City, Los Angeles. And yeah, there's just been a lot of privileges that come with being a citizen, which I've been for 10 or 11 years at this point, which I would not have, had I, stayed in Mexico. So short answer, no. I may have been able to do some facsimile and been all right, but a lot of specific accomplishments just would not have been nearly as feasible.
So I would say that right now, if I was back home, I don't think half of what I'm starting to accomplish now, I would have been able to accomplish it back home. It might have taken a long time.
I think as an international, I have just as much access to living the American dream like a non-immigrant American. I would say probably yes, but for me personally, it's all tied up in bureaucracy because of the visa processes. So I don't plan on staying here after my degree, but if I did, I would have to get another visa and follow that whole thing. So there are still a lot of bureaucratic red tape and framework that would be obstacles compared to other people. So it is harder.
As an international, I do think I have equal access to some extent, because it could be worse.
I do. I can't speak for other immigrants. I certainly do. So I feel like I have all the access I could possibly ask for in terms of the American dream. But again, that's a case-by-case basis. I don't think everyone would say that.
Me being here, even if it's an international student or an immigrant, I feel like there's really no difference as to being with someone who's a non-immigrant living here. Because at the end of the day, as long as you put that dedication, the hard work into whatever you're doing, you have your long-term goals, short-term goals, you have everything prepared in your head that this is what you want to achieve, this is what you want to accomplish, and you're determined and dedicated to doing that thing, I believe that there's nothing that can stop you.
What does my American dream look like to me? Or what is it I wish to accomplish, because I don't have an American dream really. I just want to get my degree. I just want to study here and do well and make my family back home proud.
My dream is to be a person of influence who has a platform to impact people in a positive way and advocate for free enterprise. Like Ronald Reagan said, freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. I also want to start an NGO to help people all over the world, who need help or have been struck in a natural disaster.
I want to direct, right? In my case, the media world, and being able to do the types of projects I want to do and have the respect of my colleagues and my collaborators, and some agency as to the type of projects I get to work on. That's what it looks like to me.
Own my own house. I want to be able to own my own business, having a stable career. Hopefully with all my dedication and all my hard work, I will get to where I want to be and live the American dream I want.
How you doing, Mark?
Doing well.
Good. Where were you born?
I was actually born in Southern California.
Southern California. So you lived in America your whole life?
I have, but I've traveled all over the world.
Okay. And your family, they're also from here?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Where's one place that was that really piqued your interest? It's just interesting how they live back there.
I would say Japan. I just came from Japan in November. Actually, this week I just came from Portugal. So I think that every time I've traveled internationally, it's always changed my view of the world. Japan specifically, because after I came back from there, I honestly believe that they actually have it more figured out than we do in America.
But for some reason, though, everyone wants to come here.
True.
So I want to ask you, what do you think internationals are seeing? I'm international myself, and I'm here. I came here because there is something here. They're not tripping.
Right.
Everybody wants to be here. So
yeah.
What is your opinion on that? What do you think they're seeing here?
I think the biggest thing that people probably are seeing is the ability to, like, freedom of speech, probably, right? Like, I think in a lot of countries, like, if you speak out against the government, like, there's repercussions for that, obviously, that we see all over the news. I think that's one of the big things. And the idea of the American dream. Like, we have this idea that you can come to America, you can be anything you want to be, which probably, like, does exist, but there are, like, there's some, it's not the same for everybody, I would believe, right? I do think there are other factors that play into it, but I think that's what it is, the idea of the American dream.
Okay, do you believe the American dream is like a real thing, or is just an illusion that internationals have? Like, are we just tripping? But I think America is really good with marketing themselves.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
they can market this country for you, and it's going to sound like gold.
Absolutely.
The streets are made of gold.
Right.
So do you think it's a marketing thing to get people over here?
That's a really good question. Do I believe the American dream is a real thing? Dang, that's really... That's actually a good take. I think a lot of times when you look at like tech and like some of the advancements that we've made in technology-wise, like the people are most of the time like foreigners. They're not from America, and most of them they're smarter than we are too. But that's a whole nother take. I would say the idea of the American, I think, yeah, it's maybe good marketing. I think there's some components of it that is like legitimate, but I do believe that it probably is a bit of an ideology that we pushed to other countries to, make America seem like we're number one in the world. I know we're number one for like mass shootings and all that kind of jazz, but that's a different conversation.
Oh, yeah.
But I would say that America is, we're one of the tops, but I would say Japan really made me like change my worldview after visiting Japan.
Okay, you said something about there's some things that are legit. Like what? Do you have something off the top of your head that you can be like, this is legit?
In terms of America, yeah, I would say that you do kind of have the opportunity to kind of almost be like who you want to be. You can choose your own path for the most part, right? Like you can come from a family that is poor. Maybe it might be a little more difficult for you if you're coming from a family that's poor, but you do have the opportunity to make a way for yourself. And most of the time it's through education. So I think that is one thing that is pretty positive about America. I do believe that there is an American dream. I just think like there's more to it than what we think it is, more than what meets the eye.
My mom is from America. My dad is from South Africa.
Oh, nice. Look, South Africa. What part of South Africa do you know?
Yeah, Johannesburg.
Johannesburg. Have you been there?
No, I have not.
Have you heard anything about South Africa?
Yeah, my dad moved to the States when he was 12 because of a lot of reasons. One, his family wanted to come here for just opportunities, financially, and just it's a lot safer. It was very dangerous when they were living there, and they wanted somewhere that they could raise their kids in a safer environment.
You just hit the point. The next thing I was going to ask you, do you believe in the American dream? Do you think that was what your dad or your dad's parents were after, by moving here? Do you think it was because of the...
100%. I think that was the biggest thing, is the opportunity of coming here and being able to pursue a career and open up your own business and have opportunities that other countries won't allow you to have, and having the right to open your own business and, say what you want and, own a house and lots of things like that. Just the basic things as Americans that we don't really realize is important. We take for granted, but other people appreciate it a lot. And I think it's important to understand that it's not something that's just given, Luckily here it's a right to have a lot of things that we have, but it's not everywhere.
Yeah, what does your American dream look like, if I may ask you that question?
I think my dream is just to raise kids and, have a career and just live life to the fullest, really.
Do you think you could have had a life just as good as the life you're having here in America if you were somewhere else?
I think so, yes, but I do think it would be very, very different. But I think that the values, it's about who you are as a person. I think that, and the people that raise you, like my parents raising me in another country, I think that it would be, I think I would have a lot of similar opportunities, but I do think it'd be very different than here.
So you're happy being here?
Yes.
You love America?
I love America.
What's your favorite thing about America?
I would say freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech?
Yep.
What do you want to say right now to exercise your freedom of speech? I don't mean to put you on the spot.
I honestly just don't know. I think just having the right to be able to say what you want and voice your opinion and ask questions is so important. It's so crucial, and I think that's what this country was built on.
Where are you from?
Nigeria, Akwa Ibom specifically. So Akwa Ibom is a state in the southern part of Nigeria. And so I moved to the US in 2017 for school. I actually moved to Austin first. So I did about 2 years at Austin Community College, then transferred to Texas A&M. It's been good. It's been good. You know, I think lots of opportunities, you know, to meet new people, learn about a new culture. I mean, moving from Nigeria to the U.S. alone, like that's a big jump.
Yeah.
So being able to talk to different people from different walks of life and learn something from each individual that I come in contact with. And so it's been good. I feel like I've been welcomed very well by, you know, the people that are surrounding me. I met you here in the U.S. And so it's been good to, you know, also meet a Nigerian here and be able to build those relationships.
Have you ever heard this phrase before, the American dream?
Yes, definitely. I think the American dream is, yes, I have.
Okay. And what does that mean to you? Like, what does that translate to you?
Yeah, I mean, when I think about the American dream, I think about freedom. I think about the opportunity to be able to, you know, put yourself or put your heart and mind into something. Maybe it's a profession, work hard, and know that, you know, you're able to pursue your dreams, and that will yield results as well. Because back in Nigeria, there's a lot of security issues, not a lot of like professional or academic opportunities. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but like teachers in public schools were on strike for almost a year, right? And
no pay?
No pay, right? And so,
insane.
you know, that can affect the education as well as professional opportunities for people. And so when I think about the American dream, I think about being able to come here to the US, go to school, work hard, and be able to create a life for you and your family.
Yeah, so you say you're a student. Are you still a student?
Yes, I am, yeah.
Okay, so you're still a student. As a student, would you say you are living the American dream, or you see yourself on that path?
Yeah, I mean, I would say I am on that path. I don't think I am, you know, I've achieved the American dream yet, but I think I'm on that path, and, you know, God willing, with time, I'll be able to get to achieve that sometime soon.
Yeah. What does that dream look like for you?
Okay, so for me, right, I think it's, first of all, being able to get a well-paying job that will allow me to learn a lot about business, which is the area that I'm interested in. You know, do that for a little bit, be able to provide for my family, maybe help pay tuition for my brothers, and then one day start my own company, probably a healthcare company. And so that's what that dream looks like for me.
I'm Nigerian, not to like discredit what you just said or anything, but I'm Nigerian too, and I'm sure some Nigerians watching this would be like, well, all you said is not foreign. There are a lot of Nigerians in Nigeria that have done these things.
Yes.
So what would your response be? Do you think you would be able to accomplish these things that you want to accomplish here, that your dream is, you know, to be in America and to do these things? Mm-hmm. Do you think you could be able to do it back home if you were to go back or if you stayed?
You know, that's a very, very good question. Knowing what I know now, I think I could do the same thing if I do go back to Nigeria, but I think it's going to be a lot more difficult, right? Because, first of all, the reason why we're able to do what we're doing here is because there's that security, right? We don't have to worry about security issues. I mean, we do, but not as much as people in Nigeria have to worry about, right? And so there are policies here that encourage and promote being able to do some of the things that I talk about, right? And you could do some of those things in Nigeria as well. You could you a company, work there for a little bit, get paid well, start your own company. However, it's extremely difficult, right? And you almost have to know the right people to be able to do that. But so to answer your question in short, it's possible to go back to Nigeria and do the same things I'm talking about, but it's going to be a lot more difficult.
Hi, what's your name?
My name's Abby.
Nice to meet you. Where are you from?
Temple, Texas.
Temple, Texas.
Yes,
You've lived there your whole life?
My whole life, yes.
Where's your family from?
So my family is actually from Temple. I do have some people out in Houston, but all from basically Texas, yeah.
Have you been outside of the country?
Not outside the country. I've been to several different states in America, but not outside the country, no. I really want to. I just haven't got my passport. I do find it very interesting to see how different cultures are and just different parts outside of America, because I know we're kind of stuck in basically what America does itself. But I do see different videos all over the place of how different countries do things way differently than us, and I find that really, really interesting. So I do have intention to going into a different country, but just kind of get my passport basically.
Being stuck in what is inside of America, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you mind expatiating on that? Like, what do you mean?
Definitely just the way that we do things. I see like different countries are more focused on, I guess, bettering the environment and stuff. I don't see how America's really getting on that path exactly. We just kind of have our certain views on things. Yeah, people can be their own person, but at the same time, I do feel like we have a lot of judgment in different aspects of things, whether it's where you come from, where your family's from, where you're brought up to be money-wise, religion, anything in that aspect of things. And I feel like I've seen how other countries don't really go upon that very much. It's either the fact of just because they're all within that one type of culture or one type of religion. America, we have a whole different, we're different. You can have a different group here that's, a different religion or a different culture, and we just kind of tend to stick in those groups rather than, kind of just, I guess, be in one. I feel like there's a lot of cliques here. Like I said, you are able to be yourself, but at the same time, I don't feel like we don't all come together. I feel like we're all trying to up one each other.
With you mentioning some of the shortcomings of like America being here, living here, there is still a lot of people that want to be here. So if you gave them the opportunity to be, hey, come to America, come live here, they will take it in a heartbeat. Definitely. Why do you think that is the case?
I do feel like we do have a lot more opportunity than most countries, I'm not going to lie. From what I've seen, you do have freedom here, a lot of freedom, which is going back to the point of where you're able to be yourself, you're able to become whatever you want to be. And who wouldn't want to do that? If you're in a country that doesn't really offer you that many different things of making you want to be successful, why wouldn't you want to come somewhere where you're able to be anything you want and be successful in any type of way that you want? So I do see how that comes into play. And definitely, that's one of the things that I do say is really, really good about America is that you can do what you want and you can become what you want in any type of way. And there's a lot of help here, but at the same time, I feel like it is kind of expensive. But yeah, definitely, if I would have the option, if I were coming from a different country, didn't have the option to become what I want, and then you find out, yeah, hey, in America, you're able to do whatever you want, I would take that in a heartbeat.
So being born in America, being brought up in America, do you think you are living the vision that you have for yourself for what you want to be? Are you living the American dream right now?
I do believe in the American dream. I feel like it is kind of easy to get to that spot. As for me, considering I haven't been out of the country, I haven't really got that kind of feel of how hard it would be for someone that is coming out of the country into America. So for me, I wouldn't say I've had it easy, because I know it's a lot harder for people that are trying to get into America in general. So I'm not really sure how that goes. But for me in general, I do feel like being here in America my whole life has made it a lot easier for me to get to where I want to be and living that American dream that people foresay. And so, yeah, I've taken the medical field myself. And so, like I said, considering me being here already, it was easier for me to get started with that, So, yeah, I do believe in the American dream. I just wish it was easier for everybody to kind of get started on that path to being the American dream. You know what I mean?
Is your family originally from here too?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Let me ask you this. Do you feel you have some sorts of like advantage for being American?
Definitely.
How?
Okay, well, it's really complicated for a lot of families who come here from other places, just because most of them have to get cards for being a citizen here. They have to wait a certain amount of time or marry into families here. And a lot of them don't get the same kind of resources that people who are born here usually get. And they just have a lot of disadvantages that come along with it, especially if you are not fair-toned as I.
You touched on a lot of points there. But I appreciate you, opening up and saying all of that. But allow me to take you back again to this question. What are some of the, you did mention one, like the resources, but what are other advantages you think you have, over people who are not American?
Well, definitely jobs. Jobs are really hard to come by. I would say schooling. That's something that's really hard too, just because you have to go and if you don't know English, you have to go to school for that, and you can't always go to school for that if you don't know English. But just little things like that.
I was going to ask you this. Do you think America has any disadvantage at all? Just for being American or living in America, you're at a disadvantage somehow in something?
Well, yes, just because it takes a lot of people to make a change when it comes to what government will say, and there's a lot of states where abortions, they're not okay, especially here in Texas. There's a lot of things that you have to really stand up. I know some people it doesn't seem that bad, but I mean, being here in America, there's a lot of stuff people don't listen to you. You have to stand up and fight a lot of the time, and it's really easy to get caught up in money and like yourself and just a lot of the things that you have. It's really easy to be more materialistic than it is to care for a lot of people here, because a lot of people are more materialistic. Yeah.
That makes sense. Do you believe in the American dream?
I do.
What does that phrase mean to you?
Honestly, I feel like it's about being kind to people, about being understanding about where people have been and the tragedies that they have endured to be who they are in today, and just working together as a team instead of just separate minds and bodies all fighting with each other because of different belief systems. I feel like that's what I feel about the American dream.
Your idea of the American dream, would you say you're living that?
Yes.
Okay. How do you mind putting that more into context?
I feel like I am honestly trying to pursue a career in psychology, so I really delve deep into what emotions and feelings people have and like their thought process on certain things. I'm a really good person to like give advice, and well, I feel like I'm living up to that standard just because of how many people I try to touch the hearts of. I like spreading kindness to people, and I'm just now getting into politics because I am in high school, so I'm getting into politics and learning a little bit about everybody and their political sides and views. So I feel like as of now, I feel like I'm living up to my standards just because I am being true to myself and being kind to other people.
That's beautiful. Good. Where are you from?
Jacksonville, Florida.
Jacksonville, Florida. Have you lived in America your whole life?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes, I have.
Have you been outside of the country?
Yes, I have.
Where at?
Japan, Germany. I think that's about it. Japan and Germany, I think.
Were you in the military?
Yeah.
I could tell.
I'm currently in the military, yeah.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, you're a military guy, so do you believe in the American dream?
I do.
What is it to you? If I say, hey, the American dream, what comes to mind?
To me, it's more so being able to go out there and get it yourself, where you got to work from the ground up, and a bunch of opportunities out here, man. You just got to go get them.
Is there something you've done that is like that? Like you worked from the ground up and you got those opportunities, you exercised that dream that you had?
Let's see how you got your film stuff going on. So I do have a degree in film.
Nice.
So, yeah, I joined the military. I had to take a little hiatus off, but I do plan on getting back into it. But in regards to my wife, she has a mobile hair salon, the D Experience, and she has worked from the ground up. And so she's definitely being successful in regards to what she's doing right now. I think when you think about like United States in regards to, and then other people overseas, some people are in like situations where they're not able to, go forth and just go on their own and start from the ground up. Like it's, I don't know, I'm not big on politics or government, but there might be things within those countries that prevent them, from doing so. So maybe they see, hey, family have came over here and was able to go ahead and, hey, from the ground up, work your little small jobs, and now they own something out here. I think that's what a lot of people see when it comes to coming over here in the American dream. But at the same time, nowadays, I mean, with the internet and social media and all these different platforms, like you don't have to come over to the United States to build whatever it is you're chasing. So I think that's big. Like you can be at home all day on your phone and make something of yourself, and people buy into it. You get that following, and then that's it. You good. Yeah. So
like the guy in Italy who just does this. And he makes so much cabby lane.
Just common sense stuff.
Yeah.
Like he just.
So what do you do?
Hair.
Hair. Nice.
All day, every day.
How long have you been doing that for?
I kind of grew up doing hair, like just doing like my sisters, my cousins, and then when I got in high school, I started going to actual cosmetology school.
Your husband told me that you have your own business. That's true, right?
Yeah. So I thought about like a while ago about like just establishing my own place, and then I looked at like buildings and I saw how much they cost, and like I know my grind, my work ethic, so just like setting realistic goals, I said I'll just do mobile because I can pay for that. Like I can come up with $30,000 to just pay for it in full. There's no bills with it, and I just take care of that, and it'll be good for my business. So I bought a bus and converted it to a mobile hair salon. So I just drive wherever and I do hair.
That's great. Wait, you make hair in the bus?
Yeah.
That's
I
insane.
can come here and park like right here and just do hair.
So is this in Florida or this is in
Here,
Austin?
right
It's
here,
in Austin?
based out of Austin.
Is this your dream?
Yeah, so, you know, like we all think about things that we want to do when we're growing up. And like there was like a number of things, but I can say that like if I were to leave Earth tomorrow, like I lived a good life. I've seen what it's like to struggle, and I've came out of that. I've did law enforcement, I've done hair, I've worked in corporate. So I've done a number of things, but I really like hair because I like to be under my husband, and then we have children. So I can do what I want when I want, and I travel a lot. So I would just, you know, make appointments as I need them, and I can still do whatever I need to do.
Okay. And you're originally from the U.S., right?
Yes.
Okay. So do you believe in the American dream?
In a way, I do, but I don't feel like it's all that it's cracked up to be. Because, I mean, I've been to a lot of places, and I feel like there's some places like I would leave America and I would go live somewhere else, and I think that I would be fine. I would like
where?
it. Japan. I've lived there before. I've been to Dubai. I like that a lot. I can do that. But I'm an island girl, so I've already did what I needed to do here. So I would be able to live if I decided Costa Rica and still be able to make money and have my same income. But it's not all it's cracked up to be to me. That's just my personal. So I do have some family that's in Jamaica.
Oh, okay.
But like I'm born in the U.S. My mom is born in the U.S. So like that's what I know. I just travel, you know, just different places, and I guess just take on to like just different culture.
Does your family in Jamaica, do they want to come over here?
They've tried that before.
Okay. Why? What do you think is pulling them here? Because they're definitely seeing something to want to be here.
Well, opportunity, things that they can do, things, you know, like I move around a lot. I'm able to move around, but like over there it's really poor. So I don't even really know like them, but I just know like the ones that I do know, they have tried to come here because you can move around, they can make more money. Over there it's like it's a constant grind. Like I think when I saw my uncle last October, he said he worked on commission, right? Yeah, with his so he said if he doesn't, you know, sell anything today, then that's just what it is. And I was like, oh wow, no.
If they were to come over here, your uncle for instance, do you think he would live a way better life compared to what he's living right now in Jamaica?
He has lived here before, and yes, because he would like to come back. Like that's something that he would like to do.
All right, guys, we've come to the end of this section, and you heard a lot of thoughts, you heard a lot of opinions. It was definitely a lot to hear, and I'm really grateful to have had people share their experience and what they believe, what they don't believe. But I'll throw this question back to you. Do you think there's anything, as the American dream? Are we just tripping about, the American dream? Maybe there's nothing, or maybe America really has something to offer people who are not Americans or who are outside of America or people who are American? You tell me, because honestly, I want to hear your opinion on this, all right? So I'll see you back here next week, and you guys be safe. As I always say, no killing, no shooting, no stabbing, no senseless deaths. Please, none of that stuff. We've had enough of that. Please, just stop. No violence, no killing. Let love win. It's not that deep. I love you guys. God loves you. Be safe, all right? And I'll see you next week. Take care.